Blessings and blessings. Yesterday, I went on a journey, and a part of that journey landed me in the post office, our P.O. box. And as I walked in, I saw a man and heard a man crying, looking through his mail. So I noticed him, and the empathetic, compassionate part of me, just breathed him in. And as I was opening up my P.O. box, he kept crying. And then I noticed that there was another man talking to him. And then that man stopped. And as I walked out the door, and I want to caveat all of this by saying, sometimes I have a lot of cash on me, most of the time I don't, okay? For some reason, 3 days ago, I was like, you know what? Let me grab a couple $100. No reason why. I usually don't have a couple hundred in my pocket. But I said, let me grab it. So, long story short, as I'm walking out the door, I see this probably 50-year-old frail black guy crying. And I preface and put in black guy because I also, from my own experience, know that sometimes, how do I say this? Sometimes we are viewed in a particular way, and it takes a lot for a black man to cry, especially in public. And the fact that he was doing that, and the post office was completely full, and he was trying to hold it in. He was literally had his head down, and he was tears pouring down his eyes. He was trying to hold it in. And I said, hey man, what's going on? And he said, I've been waiting for my SSI check, and it didn't come. And I'm not gonna be able to eat and take care of my family. And in that moment, I instantly knew why I had that couple $100. And so I said, man, I hear you and I feel you. And then he literally put his head down and went down to his knees in the post office. There's another guy standing right there with me. Both of us have this empathetic thing. I said, you know what, man? Let's see what I have, but I think I have enough to get you by for another week. And I went in my pocket and I pulled out, I think it was about $150, $200. And I gave it to him. And this man broke down in tears even more. Now it's loud. And he said, thank you, God. And as I started to walk out the door, he dropped his stuff, put his arms out, came over to hug me. He had a mask on that was just like down his face a little bit. Came over and hugged me and started crying in my arms. I don't know this man from Adam. He don't know me. But he's crying in my arms. Then he walks over to the other guy who was just talking to him. And the other guy at this point says something to me about karma and I got good karma coming to me or whatever. That's not why I did it. Right? I wasn't even going to tell you guys this story, but I just think it's important that we remember that we get to help each other. We get to hold each other. We get to look out for each other. We get to be empathetic and compassionate and recognize and realize that we're all in this thing together. And so then he goes and hugs the other guy. And I'm in the doorway. There are people walking by me. I'm in the doorway. So he hugs me, cries in my arms, then goes and hugs the other guy, cries in his arms. And I leave. And moral of this story is look for ways to bless people. In Man Cave, one of my programs for men, in the first 2 weeks, we have the men reaching out to other men and blessing them. And the reason for that is because most men do not get praised, especially by other men, let alone anybody to some degree. And I'm talking about average, everyday guys. I'm not talking about billionaires or people like that. And so I'm sure it's the same for women. I just want to put here that it is our duty as global citizens, as spiritual beings during this human incarnation to love on people with the best of our ability and to see our brothers, cousins, fathers, mothers, sisters, and the face of the people who seem like strangers. If this landed for you, please leave a comment below. If you want to share it and just say an awesome story or a positive story in the midst of a little bit of madness, fantastic. If you don't, it's all good. But I'm just sharing with you guys an experience I had yesterday. Blessings and blessings. Love you guys.